has a little more of the capability.
Don't worry.
Yeah. If you find one that's more of the capability, then
well, it's going to be testing them out pretty much.
Correct. Alright, hold on. I'm going to set this back here. Hold on. This is having a hard time hitting the signal.
That's a picture of Jade. She's on the state board.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Where's she at?
I don't know. I didn't even check on that. It looks nice wherever it is.
It looks really nice.
You want some kind of boat somewhere.
I want to be on the board now. God, if they make that much. I'm just kidding.
I don't think they get paid for it. They get like stipend and like, you know.
They don't. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
At least, not that we know about. Alright, okay. I'm going to get her a glass of water and then I'll introduce her. I'll be able to see her, not you guys.
Oh, do you need to tell them that's being recorded or anything? Or?
You should. Yeah. Just say, hey, we're recording so that we can go back and rewatch, you know, stuff like that.
There's the same rules about everything now. You take a pee, you have to have a rule, you know.
Got that out of hand. This makes everything cost multiple millions dollars more of operations.
Okay, so, Lynette, this is Thomas.
Hello.
Thomas, Lynette.
Hi, nice to meet you.
And Ray, this is Lynette.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing good today.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Do you need a cup of water or anything?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you. How are you today?
Pretty good. We're trying not to make you nervous, you know.
Oh.
You know, we're
Just to tell you, we are recorded, so we can review it later if you want. So, we don't remember everything. We're getting.
Oh, I don't blame you.
He's got gray hair a lot. I don't have much, but
You're getting there, okay. Okay, so I'm Tom. I'm going to be the pharmacy manager at the pharmacy. We're not giving any details about that at the moment because everything's still in the works. A lot of stuff is getting billed and then state board things and such.
Right.
Let's see here. And right now you're a pharmacy tech, or?
I was.
What?
I left the job at CVS and I'm working for physical therapy.
Physical therapy
I'm
in town now?
a
Or?
reception, yes.
Okay.
We're right down the street.
Okay, but you worked there for like what, about a year or so?
At CVS? About 3 years.
Oh, 3 years. Okay. Oh yeah,
I think,
2015.
yeah.
Like I was looking at 16. So.
Yeah.
Any reason why you left, or?
It just got really stressful. I think they're behind 1,000 patients right now, and it's just too corporate, and you know.
I worked for Walmart until they cut my job. So.
Yeah. No, the hours fluctuated. You could get 10 hours a week, you could get 17 hours a week, then you can get 40. It was just all over the place, and then too much rotation of staff. Yeah,
and
a lot of employees
too,
quit. A couple of pharmacists left. So yeah, it was just too much.
Well, I'm glad they didn't hire me. That's good.
Well, tell us a little about yourself first. Just.
Well, I've been here about 3 years. I moved here in 2016 and was in California since 2010. Yeah, born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. Just trying to make a living, taking care of my family. What would you like to know?
Do you have any hobbies?
I read. I like to go for walks sometimes. I would go hiking more, but it's too hot.
Too hot right now.
Just don't even go outside in the summer. I love to swim, read, and I love to read a lot.
Well, Tom, you got a couple of this.
I guess I'm
going
to do more like the pharmacy related questions because that's my job, you know. I've been doing this like 30, actually, since I'm young. I started on the pharmacy just like cleaning shelves, not even a family one, but then worked in retail, a hospital, and mostly chain pharmacy, you know, Walmart, Walgreens. So I believe I know what you went through over there. Okay, first thing, like, walk me through, like, how you would, the process of filling a prescription. Like, say somebody came into a pharmacy, and then, here's my prescription.
Right, well, at CVS we would take the prescription, we would do the data entry, enter the prescription, the amount, the doctor's name, their license, what's it called, their license?
DEA?
Yes, DEA number, take that information, but then the pharmacist, if it's a opioid, of course they have to do
Yeah,
that. We
other
were in
than
charge
Volvo.
of that, yeah. And then after we got the approval for the insurance and stuff, then we would fill it. I did both cashier and filling. So I'd go back there and do the prescriptions and set them up when they come in. We'd do last name, first name, and then date of birth to get another prescriptions.
Okay.
Go over it, they'd send them to the pharmacist.
So you get all the info, like when they walked in, you get all their information?
Well,
and-
they had different stations. So if it was a new prescription, it would go to the first station for the person who's collecting the data entry. So usually that wasn't me, that was somebody else. And then it would go through the little networks.
Dr. Todd?
Yep.
Dr.
guys,
Todd,
sorry.
this is Lynette.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Okay. So you did do the data entry though?
Some of the data entry, yes. Like
Okay.
patient, like when they'd come to the drive-through, I would have a computer there and I'd do all the data entry there. If they were already in the system, just update the system, get their date of birth. You have to verify that. If it was like a hydrocodone, driver's license, copy the insurance.
Okay. And did you have much work as far as dealing with the insurance problems? And things?
Not really. No, that was another person that was in that
Did
station.
you do any practice on that? Like, rejected claims or
No, I never had any practice on that. No. But I do a lot of insurance now where I'm at.
Okay.
Prior authorizations, pre-certs, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So when you did the intake, like say a customer came in, is there like say he came in with hydrocodone, it looked kind of like shifty and all that. Did you have any practice with that?
It just, when we did the whole data entry thing where you pull it up from the national system, you can tell if they filled it in another place. I mean, we didn't judge them if they were fidgety, just based on the prescription, if they had had it filled before somewhere else, if it was, over the 30 days.
And like who made the decision to fill? Was it you?
Well,
or
it would be the pharmacist, yes. Because most of the time when I get a prescription with like a hydrocodone, I would walk it, I would pull it up in the system and make sure she would say okay. So if it was a new patient, it depended. Sometimes we weren't taking new patients because there were just so many. So yeah.
That's pretty standard these days.
Yeah.
It's gone crazy with that. So you say you have a customer comes in and wants you to refill his prescription. Maybe it's, I don't know, Xanax, it could be blood pressure pills, whatever. But, say it's just too soon. It's not time for it to get filled yet. The insurance is rejecting it, saying it's, we can't pay for it yet. But then you start getting, like, you say, we can't fill it right now, we can fill it in 2 weeks.
Right.
But then you start getting, like, demanding and aggressive and like, well, I want it now, what's the problem? How would you handle a situation?
Well, first we'd apologize, and then sometimes the pharmacist would give them a couple of days to hold them over. That was just as a courtesy. I mean, as long as it wasn't hydrocodone or something, but if there was a high blood pressure and they were out, or if they had an accident, they dropped their pills or something. But again, just apologize to the patient. They could pay out of pocket if they wanted to, if the insurance wouldn't cover it. So, it's different things that we could do.
Okay, now the pharmacy that is going to be here in Pharm, it's going to be a new pharmacy.
Yes.
So a lot of it's going to be people just coming in, like maybe people you've seen at CVS or you go to Walmart or Walgreens or whatever. Say if somebody you didn't even know, they just come in, and how would you treat the patient? How would you look to keep the patient to keep coming back?
Great customer service, smile, just never be rude. Just great customer service and abide by the company's policies.
Okay.
I'm always over friendly anyway, so.
Well, that's good then. Good. And how would you encourage them to come back?
Refilling their prescriptions, letting them know that they have more refills due. If they wanted that refilled, I don't know if there's going to be an automatic refill thing.
There's probably going to have that in the software.
So yeah,
system.
remind them that it's due to be refilled in such and such a time, and just things like that.
Okay, but overall you'd be cheery and friendly?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Do you pick up good on computers? Learning new software?
I learned the new software at my new job within a month, 2 months.
Okay. Let's see. How about as far as are you still keeping up to date on your pharmacy stuff? Are you doing the CEs and things still?
I haven't. No, I've let all that just lapse.
You still have a valid license, I mean?
No, it expired. I still have it in my. Well, I told Justin about that,
Okay.
so I think I didn't renew it because I was just, I don't know if I still have it. But I still get the physician's letter and all that, the pharmacy letter.
But you are looking to renew it, though?
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. I wonder if I still have it.
I always tell my technicians, once they get it, even if they go
I know.
into anything, just keep it. I mean, for the $100 every 2
That's
years
what
or whatever, and
and
then
I
the
was
CEs. it's always something you can fall back on. So.
No, that was my other one. I've always saved it. But yeah, it expired, I believe.
Well, it would have been 2018, so last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, so that's fine.
But you can still renew. I'm not sure what the process is on that, but
I think it was like $45 or something like that. But I don't know if I have to do a whole separate thing to get it renewed.
that's why some keep it, don't.
I know.
Okay, yeah. This is gonna sound kind of strange, but do you cook or bake?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like doing those kind of things?
Sometimes.
Are you able to follow like the recipes?
Yes.
Like, do you do it from
Oh,
scratch,
yes.
or do you use like? Say if you're gonna bake a cake, is it from scratch, or do you use like a bake mix? You know?
I do both. Well, I do from scratch, but I do both, depending on time allotted. But if I go look at a recipe, like if I have an idea, like recently I wanted to make something with cabbage. I Googled it, made something with cabbage, potatoes, carrots, whipped it up, had some chicken broth, and there was a dinner. And
But you were able to follow the recipe and
yes, yeah.
came out good? Okay.
Yeah.
The reason being is because, this is going to be doing some compounding in the pharmacy, which, I'll be learning, which I know I have some
Okay.
background, not a lot, but, I'll be going for training on that.
Okay.
And it's, a lot of this, the technicians will get involved with that also once we get it all set up.
Okay.
So, I just want to make sure, like, compounding to me, it's the same thing as cooking. It's like being a bartender. It's like,
Okay.
you need, 1 ounce of
Right.
this, 3 grams of that,
Okay.
a pound of sugar or whatever it is.
Okay. We never did compounding at the pharmacy. They said
Yeah, a lot
to
of
a
chains,
different one.
a lot of chains don't want to be
But I
bothered
did
with
like
it.
the amoxicillin, measured that, and so I did.
How about like magic mouthwash, right?
We never did that. No, that was outside.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything over there.
No.
How are you as far as math, like calculations and things?
Kind of. Like if I have a
Okay.
calculator, I could do it really good. I mean, I
Okay.
still know my multiplication, division, but yeah.
Like you said, like 1% of 3 ounces or something like that, or
What I
1% of 200 milliliters. What it would be and things like that.
did- No, I'm not good at that. No.
Okay, we could train and help on that. So.
Yeah.
I do percentages all the
That's
time.
what
I have
they
a
calculate for
calculator.
nowadays. That way you don't.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you rely on those, and then it's like GPS. It's good until you get stuck in the mountains
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
You can't read a compass now. These kids. What's a compass?
Oh, forget about those.
Oh, it's like what's a slide rule?
Let's see here. If you weren't, like, say, if you were going to do something like that, and you weren't sure of like how to mix this, formula up or the calculations, what would you do?
If I had to mix it up
Yeah.
and I didn't know how.
Like, say you're in
or-
the corner, I said, hey, here's the label,
Right. If you follow the label, yep. Then I would do the percentages and everything, calculate.
or
I
if it's
wasn't
all
sure-
calculated out. Like, say if you weren't sure, like, how to do it or what steps to take first.
Yes, like I mean, if it's 300 milliliters, I just follow the beaker, do it. We always had to have our pharmacist look at it, go behind us, make sure that was the correct. Just like we mix amoxicillin, we had to show the pharmacist.
Okay. Like, what if you had a prescription, like a brand new script came in, and there was a problem, like you couldn't read the doctor's name or the patient's name, or
Give
or
it to
you-
the pharmacist. That's
Okay.
what we were told to do.
Or say, like, for example, was maybe a prescription that was filled and something didn't look right to you. What would you do? Like, say, it said digoxin, which is normally once a day, and it said, take this 5 times a day on it. Like you saw in the label, and the pharmacist didn't even read it yet.
I would give it to the pharmacist.
Yeah. You let him-
Definitely. Oh, definitely.
Okay. And you let them know about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always. You never second guess anything ever.
Okay. Let's see here. And as far as also with the pharmacist, because basically, the pharmacist in charge, or whoever's the pharmacist on duty, they're in charge, period, because it's their license and they're responsible
Yes.
for everything going on. Did you ever have any problems dealing with a pharmacist? Like, you disagreed with them, or?
No. Whenever I saw a prescription, it didn't look right, I would give it to the pharmacist, and then I would take care of it. So
Okay,
it
but like if
was
I
never-
said, I want you to do this and this and this, and even though it's the wrong way, I'm telling you to do it the wrong way, would you question that, or?
Well, if you gave me some amoxicillin for a baby
Mhm.
that was the wrong dosage, I would clarify if that was what you wanted to do, if that was correct.
So you would question if something didn't look
I
right?
mean,
though?
if it didn't look right, I mean, I would, respect my supervisor, but I mean, if it's a life or death situation, I would say, but I'm never gonna, overgo my boss or anything like that, so.
Okay.
That's
Well,
a tricky
actually,
question.
Well, actually, if it's something that's wrong,
Yeah,
the
everything always
pharmacist
goes to the
isn't always
pharmacist.
perfect, I don't
Yeah.
think, doctor or pharmacist is not always
Yeah.
perfect. there's always going to be something's going to pop up that may be wrong.
Yeah.
And they may like overlook it or not see it, or it just doesn't click.
And it hasn't. It's happened. There's been more doses and stuff. And I've just always given it to the pharmacist, and they're like, "Oh, okay, good for catching that." So.
Okay. Another question that I had in a community pharmacy, it's kind of like like CVS and all that, but it's going to be on a like a smaller family kind of thing. There's going to be other tasks that would be required that would be like non-technician, like say cashiering, but I guess you've done that already.
I've been there, yeah.
But do you have any problem like, emptying trash,
I
filling
did
in
that all the time.
vials, doing
Yeah.
all this stuff?
Fill the vials, empty the trash, everything, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't expect people to sit there and scrub the toilet. I mean, I've actually done these things. I've, helped technicians
Yes.
vacuum when I'm not busy and
Yes,
clean.
I
all that,
vacuumed,
and
dusted, I
So
cleaned.
no problem doing other,
Yeah.
Do you have any limitations?
No.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, we wouldn't ask you probably to do anything that we wouldn't do anyway, so, or at least, when I'm working there. All right. Any other questions you can think
Do you
of?
have anything?
I just have a simple question. What got you into doing the pharmacy tech?
I worked for CVS
Okay.
3 years ago, and it's just always cashier and doing everything. And when I transferred here, they approached me and asked me to join pharmacy. I never really thought about it. I thought, okay. And when I went in there, I really enjoyed it. And it was hard work. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of learning. I mean, you had to learn fast. And the demand at CVS, I mean, you could see 400 patients a day. You had to fill that many.
Yep.
But,
They suckers are into it, these sorts of stuff.
Okay.
And a lot of times I've actually found it better that people that work actually in the store, that maybe you're just a pharmacy cashier, but the person starts as a pharmacy cashier. Those people, they get to see what's going on, so they know what to expect to begin with.
yeah.
So if they're interested and they show, motivation, initiative, that they do get involved in it, then they actually tend to be, better off. Like I've seen pharmacists who actually start out as cashiers and went
Yes.
to, the whole gamut of doing all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
I have such mad respect for pharmacists. They go through so much.
Oh, yeah. Especially in CVS.
They
and all
really,
those
oh
places,
yeah.
So you've been in a different career since then, or?
Right now I'm working in a physical therapy. I'm a
Okay.
receptionist for
Oh.
physical therapy, and I do all
Okay.
the insurance, the billing, do the bank cashing on Fridays, the deposits, all of that. So got a lot of respect. I love my job. I love it there.
Do you have any questions for us?
Well, it's pretty much pharmacy related, and so that's kind of like a little secret right now. So, yeah.
We're going for the board on.
Yeah, that's what
fourth-
Justin was saying.
Here shortly,
September.
and we're kind of
Yeah,
going to start
that's
doing
another
more.
week, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right around the corner.
if you love your job now, what makes this interesting to you to change?
Well, I liked pharmacy when I was there, and I wanted to keep doing that, but I just didn't want to go with another chain. I don't like corporate.
Okay.
She kind of got burned. She already told us out.
Okay.
Yeah, and I looked for another job, and I was working the two jobs at the same time, and I think I would have stayed at CVS working nights. But it was just when you're so far behind on prescriptions, and it wasn't the staff, it's corporate, because with corporate you had to earn your hours, and it was just, I just didn't agree. It's like you have to be there for the customer.
Sure.
So you work
And
in the CVS in town here?
Right there, yeah.
So that's where like Will and Leslie?
Leslie's retired.
She
It's,
retired. I used to work with her at Walgreens over here.
Yeah,
and
it's
Will
Kayla.
also,
Kayla. Patty left. She went to North Carolina. So yeah, Will left from Walgreens over there. So.
yeah. That was funny. Justin just told me before. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been about a year since Will's been there now.
Oh, I didn't know Leslie retired yet.
Yeah. Yeah, Leslie retired 2 years ago.
She's smart.
Yeah. She still well, when I was there, she was still coming shopping and stuff. So see her and her husband.
She's still in town now, or?
Yeah.
We're going to
She's
start
happy.
at $15 an hour, and after 9 days, there will be an increase. And then we're not going to set up top that this is what you're going to make. We're going to, as the company grows, and you're going to produce for us and help, everybody's going to grow with the company.
Okay.
What we want.
You know what? The company is great if you have great customer service. You gotta push through. You gotta smile. And just expect that sometimes something's not ready. But Justin explained how everything would be like if it wasn't ready. Just go back to the back. We'll be right with you, and that's what it should be. So
We're actually going to have on our computer, we're going to have a thing where you can punch in when you're doing this. You don't have to sneak to the back. You just punch in, it's like everybody's going to beep, beep, beep.
Oh,
back
yeah,
there.
Nice.
probably like a
Okay.
work queue type of thing or
It's
something.
keeping they'll get back to, we got to get this one done now.
this town needs another pharmacy. It really does. I mean, it's just not enough. It's not enough. And I thought when the healthcare partners opened, that would give us a little wiggle room. It's just growing too fast. This town, we need.
Well, the problem is the
another pharmacy.
corporates. That's Because I've worked for Walgreens, I've worked for, I know exactly
Are they
what
all
you
pretty
went
much
through.
the same?
Yeah. Walmart was actually one of the best ones I've worked for, and then all of a sudden they hired a guy from Walgreens, was it Walgreens or one of those? I think it was Walgreens, and just went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Like, it just like dropped quickly.
It's
I mean, the
just-
pay was good, and then the help was good, and then it was like, let's help,
Yeah,
let's help.
less help, less help.
Then they
Like
started getting rid
there's
of
two
pharmacists that were making
technicians.
too much money and
Yeah.
who were older, it's like me, stuff like that. Really,
But
really.
it's hard when you've got one person who's doing drive-through and the counter, then one tech doing the prescriptions and the insurance getting this. There's two techs to run that store, and it's
They're all doing that though. That's the thing.
I don't
That's why the
understand why.
independents are
It's
actually coming back
dangerous.
into business again.
yeah, that's dangerous. You're pressured. You know,
That's how
things can
mistakes get
happen.
made.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been telling them that for years. They don't listen. And that's another thing. If you have a good idea and you tell her, oh, okay, yeah, that's a nice idea.
I'll be back in 15 to get you.
All right.
That's his dad. One last question here.
Thanks, Pops.
As a pharmacy technician, do you know what your limitations are, like what you can or cannot, or say what you cannot do, what you shouldn't be doing? Like things, what would be in a pharmacy that you can't do
as
as a technician?
well, I can't.
Versus say a pharmacist.
Well, I can't fill the hydrocodons, things like that.
Which
that
actually
was
is
the
not true,
pharmacy.
that's just
Yes.
company policy. But
That was company policy. Didn't compound, didn't even have it there. I pretty much did everything. Putting the prescription stocking, replacing the stock if it's expired, getting that going. I never did when it would go out to the companies where they go pick up the expired prescriptions, but we did throw the privacy things in the locked containers.
Well, say for
just
example,
trying to
a
think.
customer came up to you and says, I have high blood pressure and I have a really bad cold. What's good for me? What can I take?
I'll look at the pharmacist. That's
That's
not
what
my
I wanted to hear.
job. Yeah.
So you can't give any counseling
No,
or advice. Okay.
cannot get recommendations, cannot tell them to take, NyQuil, just can't do it.
But if they ask you, is this brand is good? Whatever. Certain things you can. But,
Let me take the items and ask the pharmacist. I know it sounds so cliche, but that's just the way, that's how I've been programmed. If you don't know, pharmacist. And then there were some, like I said, protected patient information that's just drilled in your head.
Oh yeah, the brainwash.
And and it was so funny when I was a cashier. We could take people to the aisle and show them the bear and the the Excedrin and all this stuff and read them the label. But in the pharmacy, it was completely different. It was just like, let's go to the pharmacist. I'll walk you to the counter. Let's talk to the pharmacist. So
you're good as far as following the pharmacy laws.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
definitely.
Any other questions, guys?
I'm good. That's it. Just so you know, we're hoping to open about the 30th of September.
Okay.
If everything goes right, depending on what happens with the pharmacy board.
Okay.
Yeah, basically it goes from pharmacy board has to approve it first. That's the first stepping stone.
Yeah.
They already have the place all ready to go. It just has to be taken care of.
Okay.
It's just all the legal things, and then we have the licensing, DEA, state license,
Yes.
training, for everybody.
Okay. And what would be the attire? Are you scrubs? Are you nice outfit? Or
We're talking about having khaki colored pants or khaki skirt, and then different positions are going to have different color shirts. Kind of like polo shirts we're talking about. That going.
Okay.
Technician will have one color, he'll have white, and different other.
I always get stuck with white.
you get the white coat. You gotta stand out.
But that's probably still open as far as that goes.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah, we're playing with it right now, so but it's not going to be. We're talking about so you don't have to wear a washing mist. We're going to pre-buy everything and just have a service to it.
Yeah, however, as long as it's appropriate, type
Right.
of thing. But I'm sure you're familiar with all that from CVS. So it's the same.
Yeah, we had our own uniforms. We were not allowed to bring anything in the bag to eat. We could only have water and clear bottles. Couldn't have Dr. Pepper. And then before we left, we had everything searched. Bags, pockets. Yeah.
Oh, so it's like if you ever want to work in a prison, you say.
I didn't mind it. I understood where they came from, so, it's what it is.
All right.
And I had to frisk the pharmacist before they left. Let me check your code. It was so weird, you know, but it's
Well, I mean,
It's just a double check program.
it was company policy. And
Well, yeah,
I
because
just
they've
did
been
it.
burned a lot of times with,
Yeah.
technicians. I've actually worked with technicians that have walked out with, 500-pound bottle of hydrocodone. And I didn't work with them, but I worked in a store and I heard about it afterwards.
Well, they should be in a safe now. And I don't think Justin said he wasn't going to be doing that. He wasn't going to be using
Well,
hydrocodones.
I'm saying,
Okay.
whatever it is, I'm pretty sure we're going to end up getting, something that's always going to be,
Yeah. Yeah, that should always be in a safe. We didn't even go near the safe.
Our emphasis is going to be more like, nutrition, healing, wellness, make yourself better by, doing it the
Right.
right way,
Like
diet.
CVS
And,
we love our patients. We care about our people. We have heart.
But I mean, you're always going to have patients like, a
Yeah.
cancer patient, or there's going to be
Yeah.
something, or
Oh, yeah,
ADD
definitely.
children. So. But I mean, we're not here to be, taking care of, the drug addicts stuff,
Right.
because I know it's a big deal out here.
It is. It was pretty insane.
Even when I worked out here,
Oh,
maybe 10 years ago, it was
yeah.
really bad too.
We had patients that were climbing the counters, cussing us out, throwing things. I had one guy in the drive-thru was picking up something for his mom, who was in the hospital, and we had to get authorization. We couldn't just hand this over, and he slammed his fist on the steering wheel, peeled out of the driveway. We all the time people want their meds right now, and it's like, well, we can't give it
I've had my fair
to you. You
share.
still have 10 days. We can't fill it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been threatened, had things thrown at me, and screamed
Yeah, that's why I
at,
said I
all
have
that
mad
kind of stuff.
respect.
And they try to intimidate you, but
Yeah.
from New York, so hey, don't bother me. I've seen a lot more than these people have, so.
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
my, I bet.
You can walk down the street in New York and get cussed out somewhere.
All right.
You have any questions for us?
It was all pharmacy related, which is
Okay.
kind of closed right now, so yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thanks
Well,
much.
thank
We will
you
get back
so
with
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Good interview.
You guys
You
have
got to take off right away?
a wonderful
yet.
day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yep.
Bye now.
Bye.
Sorry I was late.
That's okay.
No, we did
I
good.
should have let Justin know I had to. We start up back at 2:00, so I had to make sure everything was
Yeah.
up and
We're
running. And
kick Blake a couple
then I
times.
left
Make sure you're working.
then I left my keys at the house, and so Dr. C had to give me a ride, and he actually had to do a consultation right now. So anyway,
Have you played with the Alpha Stem yet?
I have not. It's sitting on the counter, on the kitchen counter.
Okay. I will. Again, to get to it with you.
Play
and
with it.
We'll get you over dinner next here short.
Pretty good.
Ken
Hello.
Searles.
Hey, Ken.
Hello.
I used to work at the Walgreens over here like years ago.
I never worked for Walgreens.
No, but I think I spoke to you
Don?
on the phone transferring scripts or something.
That's entirely possible. I used to own the only pharmacy in Pharm, long before Smith's was here and all the rest of
I
it.
worked over here when Frankie was here and Will.
Half of them are still there.
And,
Leslie.
yeah.
Well, Leslie, she's retired actually.
Well,
No, she's still there.
after about 17, 18 years, I sold my pharmacy to Save-On, and I had patient customers come and say, "Hey, did you hear Save-On's coming to town?" And I said, "No, don't know anything about it." But I've worked for them for 14 years in LA. So I said, I still know some people at corporate, I'll find out. So I called them, they said, "No, we don't know anything about it, but call this guy in Las Vegas." Don't know. So I called, his name is Armin.
Oh, I'm in
Okay,
Quicksilver.
yeah, and I called Armin and I said, "Hey Armin, my name's Ken Searles. I'm in Pharm. Rumors you're here coming to Pharm." He says, "Yes, it is true. By the way, we want to talk to you." And that's when they started negotiating about my business. So he bought my business, and I went back to work and managed their pharmacy. I gave him one of my old cards.
Here, I'll give it to him. I already have your cards. Of
After
Ken's.
I sold, there's my card from Save-On. After I sold my business to Save-On, and I retired, left after 7 years of Save-On, I was Googled and became the director of pharmacy services. So I
Florida
went in
pharmacist.
and set up the hospital for all the stuff there at the hospital.
Lives here in town, and he's always told me if you need relief.
So I've been around the block.
Oh, if I need really, if I need extra
It's
bucks,
if you do. This is so Ken Thomas. This is our medical liaison,
Hey.
Dr. Todd, and then this is our delivery manager,
Nice to meet you.
Dr. Ray, essentially. So
So I've been around the block once or twice. As
I worked hospital in New York, the
Did
city
you?
hospital.
As I've told Justin, I am not looking for work. Okay, but I told him that I would help him when he had some problems, and I said, if I can help out, let me know. So we've been in touch ever since.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, he filled in for Emmanuel when Emmanuel's wife was going into labor. He had no one else to call, and so
Is that the guy from Mesquite?
no, I don't know.
When he opened up his pharmacy, I went in just to introduce myself because I've been around so long. He's going to hear my name.
Yeah.
So I went in to introduce myself, and he says, "Oh, we're looking for relief work?" And I said, "No." Okay, and he said, "Oh, okay." And I says, "Why?" And he said, "Well, my wife's pregnant." I said, "Look, if your wife's pregnant, here's my phone number. If she goes into labor and you have to go into the hospital, give me a call. I'll come and I'll babysit your store." Because I know.
And he did.
Yeah, and I know because in a small town, customer service is at a peak paramount importance. If you can't take care of the patients and they know that you care about them. When I had my store, I said, when I closed, I said, "Why'd you close your store? You could still make money." And I said, "Yes, I could. But I sold it because someone wants to buy it now, and 15 years later, when I want to sell it, nobody wants it."
Yeah.
But at the same time, if everyone is paying the same amount for their insurance,
Yeah.
the only reason they're going to go to you is because you give them better service. Okay? And that's the name of the game. So that's where I am in a nutshell.
Go, man. Thank you for coming. Like I said, I just, he was in town for the interviews real quick, and then
You know, I just had a dream last night about a technician. Somebody was complaining about a technician at a store who had overstepped her bounds she was counseling patients on drugs rather than passing it on to the pharmacist.
Oh man.
But so I'm not looking for a job. As I told, he was asking me, "Well, how many hours can we count you on?" And I'll tell you the same thing I told him. Coming into a town like Pharm, you already have 3 major pharmacy providers here in Pharm. You're going to try and steal their patient customers. I understand that, okay? But you don't know how many you're going to have crossing your threshold. So wait till you open your store, see how things go, and see how many hours you may need me before you call me. Does that sound reasonable?
Sounds reasonable.
Okay, so once you have the store open and see how things are going, then we can talk about.
We may never need you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's maybe
Exactly.
I just wanted to introduce you to
Exactly.
make sure
you
that
may never need me. You know I don't need the money.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have real estate investments.
That makes one of us. Yeah.
I have real estate investments that are paying my bills.
Oh, good.
Years ago, I don't tell many people, but years ago I bought some property on the highway where I was going to build a bigger pharmacy. And then after I sold my pharmacy, whatnot, we ended up leasing it to Terrible Hearst. Okay, it's out on the highway. And then when Terrible Hearst closed down, we signed another lease with Golden Gaming. And so Golden Gaming had a 50-year lease plus an option for an additional 50. And they sit in first position if I decide to sell. Well, they turned around and subleased it, and there's now a Holiday Inn Express sitting on my property. So my wife gets the money from that lease every month, so I don't need to work. I told Justin I would help out.
He keeps up on his license, and he steps in. I know you went around.
You want my license numbers if you
no,
want to run
no,
them?
no. I know you recently went around to a few outlying cities and even offered to them. So I know you're I know you're a good guy. I know that. I've known that for.
Well, at one time when I had my pharmacy, I had a durable medical equipment, and the young lady over here, her husband and I have not flown together, but we know each other. We were going to fly hospital beds to the outlying areas and oxygen concentrators to the outlying communities that had no service.
Yeah.
But that didn't work out.
Wow.
But I can certainly give my license numbers. I've already renewed my California license. My Nevada license is due to be renewed in October.
Yeah. Now we'll just. You know you're good.
You can check me out and see if there's anything on there for about
I don't need to.
Okay. All right.
You can do that. Again.
Nice to
Call
meet
his
you.
bluff, man.
No, heck no. Shit.
Appreciate it.
My Nevada license is 06933. Here. I'll write him on the back here.
Yeah, go look him up, Thomas. This is for you, because
All I have to do is type his name in. It'll bring it right up.
I know, but he wants to make it super official. I don't even have mine number memorized. I'm just kidding.
I'm 10182.
It's they're so small anymore. I'm just kidding.
30256. They're both primary licenses. I took the state board in both states.
Go in.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Okay?
Good to
All right,
meet
man.
you.
Gentlemen, have a good day.
Hey, you
Justin
too.
will be in touch.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate you.
Now, the only question